how how has the Ambrose Alli family fared from successive governments of Edo and Delta states since his demise? Specifically, has the Ambrose Ali widow or family been receiving regular pension from Edo or Delta states government?
I can give you a very quick answer to your question. My mother has received not one single kobo in pension from anyone. Our family has received nothing from the Edo or Delta state government. Um, like I said earlier to a couple of your earlier questions, um, when our father died, he had bought some land in GRA under Waziri, who was the military administrator prior to him, and he also owned some land in Efu, and these were all seized by the military. They were also allocated land in Abuja that was also seized by the military, and the Edo and Delta state government have basically done nothing for our family, frankly. You know?
Last question.
Yeah. Yeah?
Can I go on?
Yeah, please go on.
Yeah, please, do you have any specific demands on the government of Nigeria, the government of Edo, or the government of Delta States?
Well, yes. I guess that the first thing we would like is we would like the false charges against my father to be quashed. Some people have raised the idea of having a pardon from the president. But as a family, our position is quite clear that you pardon people that are guilty. My father was not guilty of anything, and frankly was the victim of an injustice, and let justice be done or the heavens fall. Nigeria as a country is not moving forward because there is so much injustice. I spoke about what happened in July 1966. Sorry, can you turn your volume down? Okay, I spoke about... No, because it's causing feedback. So mute it on your side. Yeah? So I spoke about what happened in July 1966. That was a grave injustice. There are also other injustices done in the north of Nigeria after the January coup in '66, and there are several injustices. But my father's a very specific case, and he was, cashiered. He was set up by the military as a victim, and has been the victim of a severe injustice. I think it's interesting to note that my father received no national honors, and there's not even a road in Abuja or in Lagos named after him. My father has received, and our family has received nothing from Nigeria. Everything we have, we worked for by our own hand. Everything of value that he had, of material value, was seized. That is the reality. It does ask a fundamental question, and the fundamental question is this: if someone serves their country with distinction, and they at the end of the life they end their life as a pauper, and their family has nothing, why would people serve the country with distinction? So specifically, we would like, it would be nice for my mother to receive some form of pension from the Edo and Delta state government. At least she should be comfortable in her later life. And, she has grandchildren on 3 continents, so it'd be nice if she could see her grandchildren regularly. I'm sure you appreciate that when you get to 70, traveling is not so easy. It'll be nice in fact, no, it won't be nice. It would be just and it would be fair if the charges against my father were quashed and my father received some recognition from Nigeria.
Thank you very much. And on a final note, do you have a word or two to say
About what?
about Edo State, about the current administration in Nigeria in Edo State, about anything
Well, I mean, I noticed one of the questions that you asked was, do I think that any governors in Nigeria are performing like my father? I think Fashola is a very good governor. Uh, you can see what he has done. I think the current governor of Kano State, uh, you can see you can see progress in Kano State. You can see progress in Ekiti State. I think Governor Fahmi is making progress. I also think there's some progress being made in Edo State as well. I mean, you know, you can agree or disagree with it, but you can see it. I'll give you an example. There's a lot of controversy right now in Benin about what is, Airport Road and King Square, and so on and so forth. I mean, not to get into the details, but you can see the transformation. How much it cost is a different argument, and yes, there are certainly questions to be held, but you can see some difference. I also think that I mean, let's try and be fair in some ways. I also think that the present administration at the center, the administration of President Jonathan, which is someone who comes in for a lot of stick. I also think they are definitely doing things that you can see. For instance, Nigeria has not had a functional railway in 30 years. We now have a functional railway, so we should at least call progress progress. Um, the removal of the fuel subsidy, which I have to say is a very unpopular move, is actually a necessary move in Nigeria, because the fuel subsidy, again, people do not have very long memories, but the fuel subsidy was set up by the military to steal from the country. It was set up by Ibrahim Babangida to rob our country, not for any other reason. And the fact of the matter is that that subsidy regime is being abused. There are also criticisms that you could make about all of these people. I mean, and I think it's important to say that my father was not a saint. It's also important to say that there are criticisms you can make about his administration, and criticisms you can make about him as a person. I mean, like every other person. So let us not, try and make this a hagiography where I say, oh, he's a saint and he did no wrong and this, that, the other, and everyone else is a bad person. My father certainly made mistakes. I'm sure that he had regrets. I'm sure there are things that he would have done differently. But I think it is important and responsible to say that when someone is performing, to say, yes, you have performed that, you could do better. For instance, I also think, Rotimi Amechi, there are clearly signs of progress in River State as well. If it is whether you could say the progress is commensurate with the amount of money spent is a completely different argument, but there are signs of some progress. So those are the kind of I think those are the kind of people I think that are working. I mean, I'm sure there are other people doing things. I know, that you would have probably been an admirer of Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, a woman who has to make tough decisions, because being in government is about making tough decisions. It's not about making popular decisions necessarily. I think where he would have disagreed with most people is that my father definitely was a believer that education should be free and mandatory, and he would, if he ever had that position, I have no doubt that he would have made education across Nigeria free and mandatory. And that is something that I would urge every administration in Nigeria to do.
Thank you very much for this interview, and we are happy that you were able to attend this interview.